Yesterday we have completed our draw tools and modify tools. Today I will cover about layer, how we create layer and what is about layer. And I have already discussed about the difference between these properties and the layer properties. So now let's start with layer. So why we create layer? So better visualization and better control of your objects. So with the layer, you can control all the properties very well, and you can also control the visibility of your object in model space and both in paper space while uh, making the printout and setting in the page, so that you can control with layers better without hampering your project and the position of your object. So that is the best thing about layer, and these are the benefits. So for creating layer, we have to go to this layer properties manager, or else we can type la is the command. Now see, we always have this zero layer, that is the default layer. Without this layer, you cannot create any object, because the object should have some properties, some default properties. So this zero layer will always be there, and you cannot delete this zero layer. That is the default layer. So I'm going to this layer properties manager. So this is the layer properties manager window, and here you can control all the layer properties. You can manage all the layers. All right. So here you see this is the zero layer, and this means this is the status symbol. This means this is currently active. This green check symbol, this is currently active. And what is the name? It's showing that is zero. And what is the status? On, it is on. And the freeze option, that is currently thaw. This symbol means thaw, and if you click on it, and that will be frozen. That symbol is quite different. So as because this is the current layer, and current layer cannot be frozen, so that is one restriction for freeze and thaw option. Okay, that you have to remember, that you cannot freeze the current layer, or it is the active layer. All right, so because that is currently in work, so you cannot freeze that. And we have that lock option, so that is unlock, and if you click on it, so that will show with this blue colored lock symbol, and this is unlock. And this plot, what does mean? That this is means that you can print it out, and if you click on it, and here you'll find that one red cross or red symbol is showing. That means you can draw it, you can have all the objects in your model space with this layer, but while printing out, you will not get this. Okay, so that how you can control. You will have that in your project, you can see it, but without that, without those objects which you have created with this layer, you don't want to print it out. So for that, you are not deleting them, or you are not hiding them. Those objects will be present in your project, but you will not print them out. Okay, so that's how you can control this option. And these are the properties: color, line type, and line weight. Okay, so this is another option, that is transparency. You can make your objects transparent, so up to 90 levels, so that if you make it 100, so that would be uh, visible anymore, so that will work like on or off. So that's why we have the transparency, that makes sense, that it will be transparent. So you can make transparent with this layer. Suppose you are making any glass properties, if you are making any 3D object, any glass properties are there, so that you can make transparent. Okay, and this option is another, that is new VP frozen. If I increase this, you can see this new VP freeze. New VP freeze means, VP means viewport. When you create a new viewport, and there that will be frozen or thawed. So that you can control. Means in the new viewport, you are creating another viewport to see your project without this layer objects. So that you can do. If you want to make it freeze in the current viewport, but you want to see the difference without this object and with this object, how your project will look like. So you want to see the difference. So for that you have this option, that new VP freeze. So you will create a new viewport, and in that viewport that will be frozen, means you will not see that, and you will see in the previous viewport. So I will show you those differences. So these are the things. Now let's come on creating layers. So for that we have shortcut, that is Alt N. If I press Alt N, okay. So let me click on it. Make sure that you are present in this layer properties manager. Otherwise, if you are in this viewport, so that will not work. So make sure that you are active in layer properties manager, and then press Alt N. And here you see I have created one layer. And another thing, that is, whatever the previous layer properties are, the new layer will come with the previous layer properties in default condition. See, I'm getting this color white, continuous, and default. And after that you can change it. Suppose I need red, and if I need any line type, so that I have to load the line types, because in the default condition I will not get all the lines loaded, because line types has different file types. So we have this .lin, that is the file type for your line types. Okay, line type file has this extension type, that is .lin. Okay, so this is the file is loaded here, and you have to select from this that this one should be loaded in this DWG file. So you click on OK, and again you can load. So this way you can load, and which one you want to select for this layer, so you go and OK. Now this is the line type properties for this layer one. And after this, suppose you need to change the name of that. So for that, selecting the layer, you can press F2, so for renaming, or else you double click on it. So now let me rename red. Okay, and line type, let's line width, let's make it a little thick, so 0.30. Okay, and transparency level 0. I want to make it transparent. Next we have icon also for creating layer. So this icon, if you click, you can create new layer. Let me give it a name, blue, and let me give this color or this color. Click on OK, and see it will come with that default option. And here I will change. Okay, let's create another. I'll create with green, and here I'll specify the color. Click on OK, and I will load one. I'll choose this, click on OK, that is loaded now, and I'll select an OK. And if you want to change the line weight, and you can change the line weight. So I'm changing it to default, and click on OK. All right, now let's work with this layer. Okay, so see, now I'm having with the 0 current layer, that is the active layer right now. So you can go with this list. This is the all the layers you have created. You can see in this list. So if you click on this, this will be the current active layer. So here you see this is right now by layer, and all the properties are according to the layer. That means by layer. So let's create one object. Okay, and let's create with red. So I'll go with this rectangle, or let's create polygon. So number of sides will be 3, and enter, and let's specify the center over there, and let's create with circumscribe. and with ortho mode on, let's specify this. So see, I have specified line weight, right? And line type. I'm getting the line type visible, but I'm not getting the line weight. So for that, I have to on the line weight display option. So you can like on or off line weight display option. Okay, so this option, this kind of thing you will get in a Revit as well. So thick line option is there. It is like similar. So this line width display. So see, now I'm getting the thickness of the line. All right. Now let's go with this green, and now I will fill this area with hatch. So let's go with this hatch option. So this is the option to fill all the area with some pattern, or if you want to place with color as well, so you can go. So hatch, and the command is H enter. So this is the pick point option, and this is the select option, how you specify your boundary. Okay, so if you go with this pick point, so around this point the closed area will be defined. All right, and if you go with this select, then you select the boundary, and within that boundary the closed area will be filled. Okay, so what is the difference and what is the benefit of choosing that? So for that, let me show you that. Let me create with this blue again, and here let me go with this rectangle. Yes. Now go with this hatch or H enter, and now I will go with this pick point. Okay. Now see, right now I'm having, which one is the current layer? Tell me the right answer. Which one is the current layer?
Blue one.
Yes, so blue one. But suppose blue one is active right now. I'm in the hatch, currently in hatch. Now I want to change the layer. I don't want to specify with hatch, and I can specify after that as well. I can do it here also. So you go with this properties drop down arrow, and here you see use current. So whichever is the current layer, according to that you will get. Now from here as well you can specify the layer, so that this layer will be for hatch. Okay, now I'm going with this peak point. So if I choose this, so within this point the surrounded area that will be filled up, and if I specify here point, so this area will be filled. So that's how we work with pick points. And now let me specify this as a, or here if I specify like this. Okay, and now if I go with this select option and then I choose this, so within this area it will fill. Okay, suppose you had to fill within this total circle and within this rectangle as well. So you had to select this with this select option and this circle. Okay, so let me remove. You can remove. So select this circle and enter. Sorry, just a minute. Go with this remove option. So you select the object. Hatch. Go with this remove this polyline, and I think I have to select both of this. Okay, that's because this is also within a single hatch, so that's because I have to select this as well. So for that I don't want to remove this. So what I can do, so now suppose I need I need this as a separate hatch, this as a separate hatch. I have created within a single command. So that's why it coming as a single hatch. Now suppose I want to make it separate and make it separate. So for that we have this option, go to this option and check on this separate hatch, this separate hatch. Now this is separate. Okay, now you go with this remove option and select your objects and select this object and you press enter. All right, got this. Now again go with hatch. Okay, so now let me show you that these things are clear, right? Now let me show you this pattern option. There is the solid fill color option is there. So if you want to specify with particular color, so you choose solid, and by default you will get this color by layer. So from there as well you can change the color. Okay, and the select option is there, so that's why I'm selecting this object, and this will come with this solid color with this. And suppose we have another option, so from here also you can change, or else if you go with this and from the bottom list you can change. So you can change with gradient. So gradient is like two color, combine the two color with shade. All right, so for gradient we also have some patterns. Okay, also have some patterns, so let me choose some different color here. Okay, so according to the patterns you will get some different result. Okay, so that kind of things you can go with this gradient. We have also patterns, so like now suppose if you have to work with this pattern, this concrete pattern is there, this brick pattern is there. Okay, this kind of pattern is available. So you want to choose from the list, so click on this option, this arrow, so it will bring down the list, and from the list you can see it properly and you can choose. Okay, suppose I'm choosing this honey, this honeycomb option, but I cannot see this, I cannot see this. So if I zoom it, then only I can see the pattern properly. So suppose in this view, within this view, if I need to see the pattern properly, so for that we have this scale option. Okay, so for that let me choose the scale like 100, enter, and here you see this kind of football like I'm getting. Okay, so and you can change the angle as well. Okay, this angle. All right, so this kind of things you can create. Okay, and you can make it as well transparent. All right, up to 90 you will get the option. And now what is about associative? This associative option will link with this boundary. This hatch will be linked with this boundary. Suppose even after this, if you change the radius, so that hatch will also be updated according to the circle. All right. So for that, let's make it associative. And if you go with this annotative option, so for that you can control with annotative scale. So we have some annotative scale option, so you can make it annotative object. So all the annotative objects can be controlled with this annotative scale. So you can choose annotative objects so that you can match all the objects in same scale, within same scale you can do. And we have this match properties. Suppose I want to match the properties with this. Okay, so I can go with this match properties. This will be the object and it will match. All right, all the patterns and the same color, the same you know layer, all the things will be matched. So you can do. All right, So for that, let me get back my where is the pattern? No, Control Z will not work here. Okay, so this pattern is there. So let me select this. All right. And let me close this. So hatch is done. Now let me delete this. Okay. So now let me show you the layer on and freeze and lock option, how these work. Okay, so let me dock to the right side, this properties manager, layer properties manager. So how you can dock, and you can make it again floating. So you hold this side, this title. So there you can drag it to the last right side or to the left side. Okay, and this option is there that you will go get only this uh, title. Okay, so that you can go with this auto hide option. Okay, and auto hide means whenever you will place the mouse pointer, then only you will get this manager, or else when you will move outside, so it will hide automatically. So that you can do. Suppose you are most of the time doing making your objects with this layers, you are working right now with the layer, so you can do like this, so it will not block the view. Okay, so you drag it to the right side. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you, that is about this on freeze lock. Okay, so this blue is the active layer right now. This is the active layer. So for that, if I make it on, it will ask me a permission, because that current layer means I'm working with this layer. Okay, can you see this glitch? Is this glitch visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't
Yes,
know
now
what
it
I'm.
is clear. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I'm getting this. Oh, all right, so go with this blue, and if I do, if I want to make it off, so it will ask me that, are you sure you want to do it? So yes, I'm sure. So turn the current layer off and go with this. Oh my God. All right. Okay, now you see this circle is not visible anymore. Okay, so that means this layer object, the object is visible. Okay, sorry, object is not visible. All right, so what I have done, that I have make it I make it the visibility option off. All right, with this option, but the object is present within the AutoCAD. Okay, so if you go with Control A, and you can select the object. Okay, and from there you can deselect, like let me deselect this hatch, and here you see the circle is selected. Okay, so if for that you have to go with this Control A option. So if you suppose you are going with this like or this, so this way you cannot select. So for that you have to go with Control A. So for that, let me do this again on. Okay, now I will select this green off. Let me make this green off. Okay, so as because this is not the current layer, so it won't ask me any permission. And now I can select this, and I can like move the object. I can move this object. Okay, all right. So what happened that if I make it again on, so you see this come with the object, as because this was associative, right? So let me make it disassociative. So for that I will go with this hatch option, and here I will uncheck this associative option, and here let me go with this hex and pick point and see. So let me change that is to 25. Okay, so now this is okay. Now if I make this off, this green layer, now if I select and move it, okay, and let me move this, okay. Now if I make it off, so see, you see, so that is the difference between your associative, that is the benefit of associative option in hatch. And when this is on, uh, this layer was off, right now this is on, and when this was off, so it will come back again when you on the layer, it will come back on the same position. Okay, so that is the uh, associative option once again. And also like if you change uh, also change the boundary, if you change the boundary, it will update itself. See, the hatch will update itself, okay, according to the boundary, it will update itself. Okay, so that is the benefit. Now let me create with sorry. Now see, I will make this green option freeze. Okay, so I cannot freeze the blue layer because that is the active. I can freeze it. So this is the freeze symbol, as because this is not the active one, so I have freezed it. Now you remember this, within this triangle the hatch is associative, right? So now if I move, now if I move the object, now if I move the object, and if I thaw, if I make it thaw, so even if it was associative, it will not be there anymore. It will not be there anymore. Why? Because when you freeze the object, then it not be present in AutoCAD. It is stored in your RAM, and when you thaw it, you recall from the RAM and then it comes. So from which position it was stored, it will come back on the same position. All right, so it will not recognize that it was associative, so it should go with this object. It not. So as because this is associative, so that means it is still associative. So now if you change, so it will be back again with this object. Okay, so that is the power of associativity, and that is about freeze. So sometimes you had the like misconception that on and freeze are very much similar, that only we cannot freeze the current layer. No, that is not about. So when you have like if very big projects you are doing with multiple layers, thousands of layers you are doing with, so for that you better go with this freeze option. Okay, so that will make sense. And you if you and And as because that is not visible, see, let me do this with blue. Green layer is the right, currently active. And now uh, if I freeze this blue layer, if I freeze this blue layer, so that means this is not even present in AutoCAD, right? So let me show you the proof. I'm pressing Control A. All right, Control A, or else you can type all, or with move option, select object, all, whatever is present in your object, all the objects will be selected. All, enter. See, all the objects are selected, but this blue is not selected. Okay, and if I move it, so let me move it now. Let me thaw it, so it will be present there. But if you go with this off, and then you go with this move, and there you type all the objects will be selected. Okay, and see, four objects are found. Okay, and press enter. Now let me, and here you see, so with better control you can go with this freeze option. So you freeze all those objects, you don't want to move it, and for quick selection you go with this Control A, or move and all you go with, and all the objects will be selected. So when you freeze those objects will not be present in AutoCAD, so you can select only those objects which you want to select. So this way you can go like that. Or suppose you have created your some walls are there, or oh, God, some furnitures you have created with this particular layer. Suppose you have make it furniture layer, and you have created some interior furnitures over there, and how many furnitures are there. So with this freeze option, you freeze all the other. So how you can quickly how you can quickly freeze all the other objects. So for that we also have some shortcuts. Okay, so these are the options we have. So that I will show you later. Uh, Before that, let's understand about this layer properly. Okay, so this way we can control our layers. Now let me, yeah. Okay, so now let me create some more layers. Uh, Now I'll delete this with this option, delete. Okay, so now you see I cannot delete, because with these three layers, I have created these objects, right? I have created these objects. So if I delete, what will be about these objects? These objects will be orphaned, right? So that cannot be possible. So that cannot be like those will be like disappeared. That cannot be possible. So for that you have to delete these objects first. First you have to delete your objects. Then only you can delete these layers. Okay, see. But you never, even if you haven't created any objects with this zero layer, you never can delete this zero layer. Okay, so if you even try, so it will show you this zero and def points. So def points, when you create your like dimensions you create, sometimes you got this def points default layer for that, so that you cannot delete also. Okay, so let me go with this. So for that, let me, uh, so suppose I am creating with ground floor. So G, I will make it a prefix so I can understand that I'm creating for ground floor. G dot main wall. Okay. All right. Next, G dot partition wall or your interior wall. You can specify like that. Okay. Okay, and then your G dot D1 to specify. This way you specify like G dot uh, D2. Okay. All right, so this way you specify, you create all of your layers with proper properties, right? Properties, color, line type, and line weight. Okay, and now suppose you need to categorize all the layers for when you will work for your ground floor. You need to see only you need to get only your ground floor layers, right? So for that, let me create some first floor layers as well. First floor D2. Okay, at least one I should create, and if W2 or W3. Okay, so now when I'll work after creating like this, I'll get these things. So that will like waste few seconds at least, and that will consume more time choosing like this way which one is D1 W3. Suppose this names are similar, only this F and G, so it won't be that much catchy, and you cannot quickly select it. So for that, go with this layer properties, and we have this filter option is there, properties filter and group filter. So let me go with this properties filter first. So I want to make categorize for ground floor. Okay, so for that I will go with this properties filter. So with properties I can make it a filter. All right, so I will go with this name option. So name, what I'll give that which is go with this G dot, whichever go with this G dot, that will be selected this. So let me make it a name that ground floor, ground floor. Okay, so you should specify before star, before this star, G dot. Okay. All right. Suppose you have mistakenly you have done it. You want to change it. So you can right click on it and you can delete this row. Okay. So you delete this row. Okay. So G dot means G dot star means G dot is the prefix, and after this star all the name is there. So G with this G dot prefix, all the layers will be selected, and if you click on OK, and here you see this when this ground floor is selected. Right now this ground floor is selected, and all use layers also there. So all the layers comes under this all use layers. So when this ground floor is selected, so in this list you'll get only these layers and the zero layer. Okay, so this you will get. And now within this ground floor also you want to uh, organize your door, your for walls. So for that, what you can do, you can create this group filter. So you can make group. All right. So for that, uh, this is separately done. So let me do it. Within this ground floor, I want to create. So right click, and there you can, I think you can, or else what you can do is within this layer, you can create a new group filter. So go with this new group filter. and uh, then group filter for your wall, and all the walls are already been created. So what you have to do is select this and then drag it. Okay, so within this wall this will be added. Suppose you have you want to create the group first and then you want to specify, so then create the group that will be active, and within this you can go with this create option. Okay, as well as layer 1 is named so okay. Okay, so here you see, don't know what I'm getting this glitch. Okay, so within this you can say this within this group filter you can create new properties filter and new group filter you can create. So you can if you want to make subfolders, so then you have to create group filter, and then you can specify subfolders within that. So if you are creating with properties filter, so that you can create new properties filter only, but you cannot create like subfolders with group. So you can convert that to group filter. Okay, so you have converted into group filter, this as a group filter, and now you can add new properties filter over there. Within that new properties filter, new group filter you can add. So let me add new group filter, that will be door. Okay, so that will be the subfolder of this ground floor. Okay, so next how you can add. So for that, what is happening? Where are the layers? Okay, now so this door is there. So you drag this door and place over this door folder. Select this door and drag over this door folder. And now this ground floor, this door are added, and these doors are categorized into this. So when you select this, when you activate this door folder, so you will get these two only in the list. Okay, so this way you can organize all the layers. Okay, now go with this all, and if you want to make this one active, select, and this you can activate. Now what is there, you are done with this layer, you have created all the layer. Okay, now layer properties, let this tree you can open with this symbol, and which one you want to get the list of, so you select that and you will get the list. So according to that you will create some objects and you start working your project. So when you are creating your plan, your architectural drawings, or your civil engineering drawings, always create with like layers, so that you can control better. Like suppose uh, your client want to see only the kitchen, okay, or else only one single room, or you want to show the column layout only. So so that within that uh, ground floor, what is the column layout for that ground floor, so that you can do like only the column layer is visible and the other are off, so that you can do with layers. Okay, so for that we have some options over there. So let me create. Okay, and suppose this is the layer, and suppose there is a huge list. Now this is like for 8 or 10 layers is there, but when you have number of hundred number of list over there, and you have to choose like sometimes you know from the color, if you work with all these colors, and you don't have any option to make some similar colors, because there is no more list of colors, so you will get some layers having same colors, so that can make confusions as well. So what you can do, that suppose this is the object in your project, and you want to work with this layer, but you don't remember what is the name of this. Okay, so for that, you don't waste your time checking the layer name, and go to this, you want to make it current, so make current, go with this make current, and select it, and that will be the current layer, that will be the active. So that's how we work. We don't waste our time. Okay. Now we have this match layer object. Okay. So you can change and match the layer. Like let me go with this 0 and go with this match layer. Select this object and select this object. Sorry, match layer. Select this object. This is the source object. You press enter, and this will be the destination. Okay, so you're matching with that last object. Okay, so for that match layer, so which one you want to apply on that, which one you want to change, so select that first. Okay, and you press enter, and then select the object from which you want to match. Okay, so this way you can match layers as well. Suppose you have created this mistakenly, you have done mistake creating with different layers, so that you can do like this way, match layers, so this will make it quick. Otherwise you have to choose this from list, and you have to specify which one is the layer. Okay, so now we have this off layer, turn off the layer of selected object. So this is the selected object, and the layer of this will be off. Okay, select this object, and the layer will be off, that you can do. And you want to make it on, turn all layers on, and that will be on. Okay, and we have this isolate and unisolate option is there. So these things, and the bottom one are the opposite of the top ones, top options, these options. So this isolate, with this isolate you can like hide. Okay, you can hide or lock the selected objects. So for that, let me create with different. All right, so go with this isolate, or you can type lay iso. Now in the settings, by default you get this off option. Suppose you want to lock and fade, so that you can do. Means so when you select this lock option, you get some transparency or fade in color. Okay, so that is the meaning of lock and fade. So let's choose this lock and fade option. Okay, and what will be the value of fade? So that is 50. That is okay. And let's select some objects. Select this object, this object, these two objects you select, and you press enter. Okay, so this two layer has been isolated. You see, these two layer is now unlocked, and the remaining other objects are locked. Okay, so that's how you go with this isolate option. Okay, now what do you want to do? You want to make all the layers unlock. Go with this and select this. This is now unlocked. Okay, See, this zero layer is right now unlocked, and you can go with this unisolate, and all the layers will be at the same at the previous condition. Okay, so if you want to freeze the layer, the selected object of the selected object, you want to freeze, and you want to get back in the previous conditions, so you thaw it. So go with this freeze option and make sure that which one you are selecting, that is not the that is not done with the current layer, so that you have to make sure, because current layer cannot be frozen. So let's select these object. See, right now these are frozen. Okay, so that you can do. uh, Now let's see one another option is there. For this we have this lay work option is there. So for that, how you can get it? Under this drop down option, lay work, go to this lay work, and what you have to do, that which one you want to select, for that will be only visible and other layer will be like frozen. Okay, so for that, let me select this. For that, let me select this. Which one is the if D2, I think. So don't check this restore on exit and close this. Okay, and see, this layer is currently on and all the other is right now off. Okay, so that you can do easily.
Lay ISO and lay walk is same.
No, lay work is like without selecting your objects, you are doing it. But for lay ISO, you have to select the object. So that is very much a tedious task, you can say.
Okay.
Like selecting all the objects for the layers. If it is a big project, so selecting all the objects, it will be a tedious task. So that's, now you select all these layers to get back and close and continue. Okay, now after creating all of this, suppose these kind of layers, you most of the time for most of the projects you create, and these are the layers like door, wall, these are the layers. It will be similar for all of the projects. So you don't want to create all these layers all the time, right? So how you can save it as a separate file, and whenever you need, you can insert in your new drawing file. So for that we have layer state manager, so that you can get in this layer properties also. So this option is the layer states manager, this icon is the layer state manager, or you can type the command layer state. So this is the layer state manager, or you can see this is the shortcut alt s. So click on this layer state manager over there, and this layer state manager window will be popped up. And if you go with this drop down arrow of this layer, and here also unsaved layer state is there, so that means this layer is right now unsaved. So if you click on this drop down arrow and you give it a new layer state, you name it, or you can go to this, directly go to this manage layer states, and you will come to this layer states manager. So these are the two options to get this layer states manager, and here you have to specify the name. So let me specify the name of mine. Okay, and like, let me specify the description. Okay. And I will click on OK. So now I got this name, and what I'll do, I will choose export option. And even after that, if I need to any change anything, rename, edit, and anything, so that I can do with this option. Now let's go with this export, and this .la is the file type of your AutoCAD layer files. dot las. Okay, now let's define with this uh, in this. Okay, let's save it and close, and I'm done. So I'll go with a new drawing file, and here I'm with totally with zero layer, totally zero. I have nothing. So what I'll do, I'll go back to my layer states manager, and here I'll import it. See, I'm in the documents. Why I'm not getting it? Why I can't see the layer files?
The extension is there.
Right. So I have to choose this layer states .las. I have to choose the right file type. So then only I can get. Click on open, and it will say you these things. Follow this, restore states, and you will get all these layers. Okay. Now one more thing that is, see what happened. Here line types are continuous, so I'm getting with this continuous. Okay, as because this is the default loaded, this is loaded, so that's why. Okay, but what will happen, suppose here uh, uh, let me undo this in drawing 2. Let me undo this. So for that, you go with this undo and drop down and click to the last, so all the within a single click you will undo all the work. So go to this drawing one, and let me go with this layer states manager. Uh, Before that, let me change some line types over there. So you remember this one. Okay, so this is 14W100, that is dash triple dot, and here let me specify for dash dot, and here let me specify dash. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go to this and I will update. Okay, I have updated it, and you can go to export again, and with this same name you save it, you replace it, close it. Okay, and what you have to do is go to your drawing tool, and now if I go with this import option, now if I load this and see, restore could not restore all line types. You will not get the line types. You will not get all the other line types because you haven't loaded this. It won't automatically load, it won't choose automatically, and it will load itself. That won't be happening. So for that, what you should do, if you have line types in your layers, so you have to remember those things. So that is something manual, you can say. So for that, what you have to do is go to your layer properties, go to line type and load this. So this one was there, dash dash triple dot is there, and another was dash dot, right? And after loading all of this, you should go for this layer states manager, and then you should go import this and open. Just a minute, let me close this, close. Let me make it undo this. So not from here, you go with this from here line type, go with this other. Okay, and load all of this, dash, then load. So not this one, right? This triple dot was there, 1 4. Okay, so guys, you remember the name, or else let me check.
Dash means
Okay, so let's do this now, or else let me confirm it from here as well. So yes, correct. So then what you have to do, you go to layer states manager and go to import option and then click on open, and now see I'm not getting any error. Restore states, all these are restored properly to the layers, particular layers. See, so you have to follow this step while you are importing your layers into your new project. All right, so that is all about your layer. Okay, so this is our today's class.